As frustrating as it might be, you can't always get into a pool for your swimming training. Maybe you live too far away from a pool, you're ill or injured, so you need to not get wet. Maybe your pool is closed or you're simply traveling. Whatever the reason, sometimes improvisation is required. Well, we are here to help. I've got a selection of exercises that can help to maintain your swimming strength and maybe even improve some of your swimming muscles. And the best part is you don't even need any equipment and you can do them all at home. There's no need to reinvent this exercise. It's straightforward yet effective, and it will work your arms, your shoulders, and your core. So you need to start in a face down position with a nice straight line going from your head all the way through to your ankles in a plank position. So you've got your hands on the ground with your shoulders directly above them. And there are two options here of how you do a press up, and these will alter how the muscles are working. This first one is tricep bias. So it's the most traditional, or what most people call as the proper press up. So you're going to start by simply bending your elbows, but keeping them in nice and close to your body, lowering down so that your chest almost touches the ground before extending your arms back up to your starting position. Option two, you can work your pecs and your lats a little more. So for this, you need to take your hands slightly wider than your shoulders. And as you lower to the ground, your elbows can go wider than your body. And you should feel a difference in the muscle recruitment. Press-ups aren't easy, but they can be learned, trust me. With a few weeks of doing some press-ups every other day, you'll be surprised at how quickly you can become comfortable in doing them. But there are some alterations if you still find it too hard. There's nothing wrong with doing press-ups on your knees, but just make sure you're still pivoting from your knees, so you've got a straight line that goes through your knees, hips, shoulders, into your head, just like the normal press-up movement. Or alternatively, you could take it over to the wall and move your feet further away as you get stronger. If you're someone who finds press-ups really easy, well, I'm super jealous of you, but you could always end up adding in a clap. Just don't expect a demo from me on that one. And the final press-up variation, which would work more on the top of your shoulders, you need to simply raise your feet by placing them on a chair or something higher if you're feeling brave and strong, and still keeping that nice straight body line. Lower your face towards the floor and then push back up. This will feel more like a shoulder press. Right, let's give your arms a rest and move our focus to the core, but we're going to keep it slightly swim specific with a kicking style action. So lying on your back, engage your core and make sure you focus on maintaining a slight curve in your lumbar spine. And then you're going to lift your feet just slightly off the ground, point your toes and start to make a kicking style motion. And I want you to keep it small, but really fast. So imagine you're kicking off the wall and you're doing really short, fast kicks. And you can either do this to count the number of kicks you do or to a set time. So maybe 3 lots of 30 seconds of kick. And to make it a little bit harder, you can simply lift your hands off the ground as well. Sticking with the core, but bringing the arms back in. You want to get back into that plank position that you had at the start of a press up. And you're simply going to take small steps with your hands, moving them away out in front of you one at a time, and go out as far as you can maintain control, and then repeat it coming back towards your body with really small steps. And try to do 5 walkouts and backs in a go. Have a rest and repeat the whole thing twice more through. And if you find it too hard by pivoting off your toes or your feet, then you can simply do it on your knees just like you did with the press-ups. I have to admit that I really dreaded this exercise in my gym program. That said though, it does have a really great crossover to swimming, as it's quite specific to the pull. It's that final phase of the pull when your hands go from being midway underneath your body to that push when they reach your hips. So you just need to find some kind of ledge or a bench, sofa, anything like that will do. Sit on the edge, place the heels of your hands either side of your thighs, and from there, walk your feet away from you until your weight is in your hands and your bottom is off the seat. Start with your arms straight, then lower your bottom towards the ground by bending your elbows directly behind you. And once you've got as far as you can, then simply push and straighten your arms so you're coming back up to that starting position. Now you can make this harder by gradually stepping your feet further away, or you could simply bring your feet in closer and even bend your knees to make it that much easier. Start with 2 sets of 10 repetitions, and if you can, push for a 3rd set. We've done quite a lot of work on your shoulders and your triceps. I thought it might be nice to add in a bit of stretching and mobility work midway through. So for this one, you want to find some sort of bench or chair or maybe a bed or sofa that's a bit softer. And you're going to kneel down in front of it and then simply rest your elbows either side just in front of you on this surface. And then from there, I want you to put your hands together and just drop your head and your shoulders down towards the ground. And you should already start to feel a little bit of a stretch through your pecs and across the front of your body. And then once you've found that nice comfortable position, I want you to take your hands and actually bend your elbows so you're taking your hands down behind your back. And this will really start to focus on the triceps. And hopefully it'll feel quite comfortable and it's a position you can just sit in and feel the stretch. This exercise is focusing on the core strength that's required for swimming, working on rotation as well as shoulder mobility all in one. Start on your side with your weight either going through your hand or your forearm. It's up to you, whichever you find more comfortable. Just make sure it is directly under your shoulder. Then stack one foot on top of the other or one just in front of the other. And then with that top arm, you're going to reach up to the sky before bringing it down and underneath your body as far as you can go whilst maintaining that strong plank form. Maybe you can have a point on the floor that you're reaching to touch each time underneath your body, and then try and reach around and you open up the other way, so you're really opening up your pecs as much as you can. Let's start off by doing 8. Make sure you do it on both sides and aim for 2 sets, but try to build that up to 3 sets of 10. We've done a lot of work on the front and the side of the body, so it's now time to move the focus to the posterior chain, those muscles at the back. So you're going to simply start by lying on the ground with your arms outstretched in front of you and your legs behind you. And to start with, just simply lift your legs one at a time off the ground as though you're doing a front crawl kick. Once you've had a go at that, then try it with your arms. So rest your legs back down and simply lifting your arms one and then the other up in front of you. And now you're going to coordinate it all together. So you want to try to lift the opposite arm at the same time as the opposite leg, as you're really going to be firing that diagonal sling and getting your glutes working. And you could even mix it up by then placing your hands down by your side and still lifting one up then the other, but again, trying to keep that diagonal. And I want you to focus on making this as fast as you can for 30 seconds. It's back to the good old side plank. So resume that position you had earlier, although this time there's not going to be any rotation. We are, however, going to be using the muscles on both sides of the body. Start by just lifting your top arm up towards the sky, then on towards your head and back again to your hip. Now it's time for the harder one, the leg lift. Lift your top leg up towards the ceiling, although if you're anything like me, you're not going to get very far, but you'll feel your glutes and core go into overdrive. It's the fun bit now. It's time to coordinate both together. So you're going to simultaneously lift your arm and your leg together and then bring them back down together. Aim for 6 repetitions and then flip over and do 6 again on the other side. This is quite challenging. If you do find it too hard, there's nothing wrong with actually going onto your knee on your bottom supporting leg. So simply bend your knee and you're resting on your lower leg and then repeat the exercise that way and aim to do a total of 3 sets. I've covered quite a selection of activation and strengthening exercises for your swimming specific muscles, and they can be done as a standalone program or even used as part of a warm-up for swimming or gym workout, or maybe incorporated into a circuit session. Although if you do have access to some free weights, then I'd suggest incorporating something like that as well, especially if you are purely doing a dry land swim workout and you're not getting to the pool. And you might have noticed that you didn't really get out of breath doing these exercises or much of a puff on. Well, you do need to concentrate on getting some cardiovascular fitness training in as well. So that could be simply running or cycling. Or if you do have the opportunity to get onto a rowing erg or a ski erg, then they're even more swimming specific and also going to work your fitness. So it's quite a selection. You're going to have to think outside the box when it comes to trying to maintain your swimming strength and maybe even improving it. But it's quite a selection there. So let me know which ones you enjoy, which ones you try and how you get on with those. You can do that in the comments section below. And remember to give us a like and a follow on our social media channels. And if you haven't done so already, you can subscribe to GTN on YouTube.